Welcome to the Phoenix Prosperity Podcast, where wealth meets legacy. Join your host, Tim Fergestad, as we explore the journeys of Phoenix's finest to success and beyond.
All right. Hello, this is Tim Fergestad. Thank you for joining us. My guest today is Alfonso Bonillas, CEO and co-founder of Alio IT Solutions, with over 20 years leading complex digital transformation across industries like smart cities, fintech, and Web3. Alfonso brings a rare blend of technical depth, operational leadership, and real-world execution. Welcome to the show, Alfonso.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and it's nice to be here. I'm excited because this is my first podcast where I am a guest.
Right, you have your own podcast. Yeah, before I forget, let's talk about tell everybody about Tech Casteros.
Sure, it's a tech cast. It's a podcast about tech stuff. We talk about what's going on lately, trends, a lot of AI talk now.
Sure.
In the past, we've talked about other things like blockchain, software development in general. And it's intended for like audiences that like to know what's going on in the tech space and or are involved in the tech industry.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So, well, let's talk about is it Alio IT? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, you're saying it right.
Okay. Well, the website's Alio IT, and I thought it wasn't.
No, yeah, you said it right. I mean, some people
Excuse me.
say Al-IO and different names, but it is you're saying it right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you give everybody a snapshot of that business right now?
Sure. Alio IT is a software development boutique company. It's a small company of 30 to 40 developers, and we are focusing on helping people develop software solutions, augmenting teams, or providing consulting also in the cybersecurity space and helping them prepare for the next stage of their business.
Okay. I've heard cybersecurity is incredible demand right now. Is that what you're
Yes.
seeing?
Yes, I'm seeing it more and more, even more thanks to AI, uh, because people are releasing software faster, but not necessarily as secure as they should be.
Ah.
So that's a big thing that's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what are some misconceptions about AI software nowadays?
Misconceptions is that AI is going to do everything for you, right? It's going to, you just have to sit back and click a button and then just enjoy the ride. It's not necessarily true. I mean, you still have to like oversee a lot of what's going on, a lot of the code. You have to review everything really well. I just mentioned this security aspect. You have to make sure your software is secure, also scalable, and people can understand it, right?
Well, you need experienced people, I imagine,
Yeah.
who know the nuances and stuff. I liken it to like maybe it's a bad analogy, but if you asked like AI to say, make me a hamburger, it might like take some beef and put it some
Mhm.
bread and give it to you to be like, well, first of all, I like the beef cooked and I like it cooked to a certain degree,
Exactly.
and I want it
Yeah.
with some fries and I expect it on a plate and all these other nuances that in the software
Right.
you like, well, it has to, have a point of sale or have some sort of all these other things you would
Right.
naturally know to do that it may not know. If you, it just does what you ask it to, is I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a very good analogy. Like, hey, give me a hamburger. But you know what? I like to add the Montreal spice. I like to add the cheese, the cheddar cheese. I like to grill the buns as well. I like lettuce. Yeah, there's a lot of nuances,
But
and
there's
you
a lot of
can't just
stuff
sit
that
back.
you'd expect a software to include that it won't do unless you tell it to, I imagine.
You have to be very specific, and that's a big thing. I recently was at an event in Dubai. I was a speaker at an
Oh, cool.
AI function. And a lot of the talk was about the importance of context, right? So if you don't give it enough context, it's just gonna
Right.
give you crap, basically. And the garbage in, garbage out thing applies as well here.
Sure.
So you have to make sure you give it enough context, and then it's an iterative process. You just don't do it once and then go home. You have to like reiterate, okay, this is okay, but not this, change this. So it's all about the context, how good the context is that you provide.
Sure. So that's one of the bigger challenges for and how do you guys see it? I imagine you guys use AI for some parts, but then you go in and kind of like somebody who's doing copywriting or something too, right? They
Mhm.
can get so far and then they have to go in and do the rest themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, uh, we're trying to solve new problems, right? So it's really good for like old problems, like, build me an e-commerce site. So the basic stuff is going to be there, but then, oh, but I want this site to do this and that's something that's new. It hasn't been done before. So AI is not really going to help you in that case. You have to like,
Right.
that's where you come in and your skills need to be applied there, you know?
Okay. You in the intro I mentioned fintech and Web3, and I don't know if a lot of people know what Web3 is, and I think it's kind
Mhm.
of. I remember back in the '90s talking to professor at MIT, I think it was, but who is just the nature of how the web is made for us, right? And for us to use, our own search terms and other stuff, it's just not effective for computers to talk to each other through the way we set up data and stuff. And I remember, 30 years ago, them talking about how they wanted to have a web that was set up that was more efficient and so
Uh,
forth. Is that kind of my understanding of Web3? Can you explain Web3 to the
yeah,
listeners?
Web3, it's all about decentralized systems. That's the big motto, like, oh, we're decentralized, we're blockchain, so
Okay, so there's
we
not the same gatekeepers
exa
hosting everything.
exactly, yeah. Right now it's, the centralized world is, the Googles, the Amazons, the data centers of the world, and blockchain's more like we want to live everywhere, so
Okay.
everyone's part of it,
So Web3 is a blockchain version
of the
of the
web.
internet. It's
Yeah,
just okay.
yeah,
Okay. I
basically.
was
Mhm.
okay, thank you. I was thinking it was more of like all like back in the day what we people would put in meta tags and all that other stuff, which were for computers and spiders to be looking for and getting your information instead
Mhm.
of having to decipher what people are looking at and looking for and then turning it into useful tags and so forth. But it's not.
Mhm.
It's just a
It's
broader
fundamentally like
word.
an architectural redesign of the internet, right?
Right.
Uh, and they're big on having everyone be part of it, so everyone has a voice, kind of thing. Like decentralized finance, they want to like take over the banking system, the
Hmm.
traditional banking system, which is centralized. So you have a bank making all the decisions for you, and decentralized finance is where the community agrees on fees and all these kinds of things. So it's more like everyone's part of it kind of thing.
Okay. And so what's the state of that and what's the future of Web3 and the pros and cons?
Yeah, the state of it is still in the US. I know since Donald Trump got elected, there's this new bill, the Genius Act, and it's all about giving blockchain more authority or blockchain related activities. Particularly, Bitcoin is the main one, right? But there's other ones like Ethereum, Solana. I think in the US, it's still kind of like growing, not as fast as in Europe. Because if you go to Europe, you see a lot of people using uh, crypto to pay for stuff. Um, just more common to see over there than over
Okay.
here. And the DeFi movement is also, I think, stronger in Europe than in the US. But I think I think eventually it will become more popular here in the US. Just a matter of time.
And what do you think is the timeline for that?
That's a good question. I mean, I wish I really knew that. I wish I knew the answer. I think it's going to be 5 to 10 years, but
Okay.
everyone has a different answer for that question.
Okay. Speaking of secondary website webs and stuff, is the dark web like not running through the same main servers, right? Do people running, is that like through Web3?
I don't know. I think I associate more dark web with like, like criminal activity and stuff like that. And
Okay,
like piracy and stuff like that. And I think you will find that anywhere, right? So, people just if someone wants to commit a crime, they're gonna find a way to do it, and it doesn't really matter for them if it's Web 2 or Web 3.
okay,
The problem with Web3 maybe is that there's less oversight or
all
less,
right,
less policing of it,
okay,
which needs to be more of that. I think that's part of what, governments are trying to figure out is how do we police this and make sure that people are not taking advantage of in this
sure,
this new decentralized world.
right, right.
Mhm.
Speaking of the world, so you're based here in Arizona, is that right?
Yes.
But you have 20 to 30 programmers. Are they all scattered throughout the globe or are they all local
Throughout
as
the
well?
globe, yeah, I have, even in India, I have colleagues working out of
Okay.
India, South America, Central America, in the US. Yeah.
Okay. And so what is Alio busiest with right now or focused on?
We're really focused on, we have our own tool we built for including AI as part of the development process, which is called Virtual Board.
Okay.
And it's an open source project. So we pretty much invite anybody to use it and tailor it to their own needs. But we really want to build like a framework for software developers to work in conjunction with AI in a very, very friendly way and a way that's more productive um, versus, traditional methods right now, just opening up a chat GPT or cursor and have at it. We're trying to like build something that developers really like to use and help them build better quality software.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
What are the challenges right now in that space?
The challenge, I mentioned the security aspect, making sure your software is secure and scalable. Um, Also, another challenge is how do we incorporate quality assurance into the whole thing where you have AI and developers working hand in hand, but also have uh, your software being tested as you develop, kind of thing. I think that's
Okay.
that's going to be very important to incorporate, and that's one of the challenges today.
Okay. Okay. And when do people reach out to you? What sort of projects are they working on where they're like, "Oh, we need Alio."
Uh, Usually it's when they want to increase their capacity, the software development capacity, and they're looking for reasonable pricing, and they want to scale, right? So it may make more sense to scale with us than with other groups or other companies.
Okay. And do you guys have a niche area? Like you already said fintech, Web3, things like that.
Mhm.
Is that are people who want to scale in those areas? Or
Yeah, we also work a lot with insurance software companies. So I think a lot of our niche is insurtech, fintech, and we have also a Salesforce partnership where
oh,
we
okay.
focusing
Th-
on education.
Those are some big partners.
Yeah, Salesforce is pretty big, and they're doing their own AI stuff with Agentforce, which is very
Mm,
interesting. Mhm.
okay. Okay. What are some of the goals for you for your company for 2026?
We want to grow at least twice the size of what
Really?
we are
Okay.
today. And I think it's possible. I mean, it's been a couple of rough years these past 2 years for a lot of people in the tech space, uh,
Sure.
primarily
I
due
have some
to,
friends in Cali in the Bay Area, but also Seattle and stuff who've switched jobs twice in the past few years.
yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of movement, budget related to budgets and budget
Yep.
cuts and things like that. So a lot of people lost their job or switched jobs
Hmm.
because, needing to get a new job. But I think it's coming back up, and AI is a big part of why.
Right.
A lot of AI investment, a lot of hope. A lot of hope that AI will help them become more productive and make more money.
How are you seeing that in the developer space right now? Is it replacing entry level positions like a lot of other industries, or is it senior stuff?
Um, I don't know if it's going to replace, like I mentioned, I don't think it's going to replace developers. I think it's going to make them more productive. I think there needs to be some coaching for more junior devs. Uh, we don't want to leave people out. I think there's still use cases to hire junior devs, although many people say, oh, you just need a senior in AI. Well, not really, because I think there's still a lot of challenges in the world that need to be solved with software and hardware. So I think there's not going to be much change. It's kind of like robotics. When robots came out, people said, "Oh, robots are going to replace us in
Right.
factories," but it's not. That didn't really happen. If you go walk into a factory, you still see a lot of people. You may see robots, but they're doing very specific, tasks like where
Right.
there's, high temperatures or high risk of having a human in there, so you put a robot in there. So things that make sense. So I think it's the same thing with AI.
Okay, sure. What are some of the biggest hurdles to doubling your revenue in 26?
Getting the word out. It's always like a marketing has been,
Okay.
and this I think this has been my mistake. Like, oh, in marketing we don't really need it, right?
Okay.
But I think it's super needed. Like, you really need to invest in marketing
It is. You're like me. You're an analytical type. You're very smart. But I didn't appreciate it. The analogy I was told was like McDonald's,
hmm
right? They sell more burgers than anyone, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have the best burger.
No, they don't. And we all know that, right? It's funny because we know
Yep.
that, but we keep going. I
Right.
mean, yeah,
Yeah. You can have the
market, the
best
brand.
burger in town, but if nobody knows about it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's the power of the brand, man. Like, you see McDonald's, and I'm gonna get a McDonald's. Right.
Right. Yeah, yeah. That's marketing, sales and marketing. Marketing's huge. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't appreciate that myself. Coming from an academic background, I didn't
Mhm.
play political games and stuff. I just sort of was focused on the work and letting my research do it, and my papers
Yeah.
published and the findings sort of speak for themselves type of thing. But as I got into the business world and more entrepreneurial
Mhm.
stuff, and it's very much relationship based and
Yes.
networking and your reputation and all that, and that's the type of marketing.
Yeah, and you said something really important, relationships. We're big on building strong relationships with our clients and maintaining those relationships for the
Right. I
long run.
imagine your clients, right, use you
Yeah,
indefinitely.
recurringly, yeah, and that's part of the goal, right? You want to be that partner, right? For development or any tech related stuff.
For sure, for sure. So, uh, what sort of impact do you see uh, Alio and your industry having locally, in the Arizona
Locally.
area? Yeah.
Yeah, we really want to grow in Arizona. I kind of grew up here. This is like my second home.
Okay. The business,
So
it's very business friendly. There's a lot of businesses coming in here. It's still
yes,
growing.
I know that's yeah, with the chips, the chip stuff, and
Yeah.
I
The
think I
Silicon
saw something
Desert.
about a new data center. Amazon is opening a new data center, or Google. I forgot who it was. But yeah, there's a lot of money coming into the state and a lot of tech work coming. So that's exciting, obviously, and there's a lot of healthcare related, companies here, and there's a lot of tech work in those industries too.
Okay.
There's a
Are
lot
you are
of
you doing Are you doing medical and health space work as
We're
well?
doing some. We have a small office in San Diego. San Diego is big on health tech as well.
Okay.
Uh, and we started doing some. We call it interoperability engineering, which is it's kind of like integrating your different data sources,
Okay.
different records, like
That
health records
sounds that
into one
sounds
centralized.
really because that's the health industry, right? That's the
Yeah.
problem. I've had somebody else on the show a year ago, James Bates. I forget the name of his company. He's got ADV now, maybe, but great stuff. And he's got AI and software helping physicians integrate records, right? And do make visits better and all this stuff. But it's integrating with the existing.
The legacy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like kind of what you were mentioning, right? And that sounds like a huge hurdle and something
Yeah.
incredibly
It's a
powerful and
big thing,
valuable.
right? Because there's a lot of vendors and some of them use different formats or, protocols to
Hmm.
share their data. So that's a challenge, and a lot of people are suffering because of that. So we're trying to come
Right.
in and help with that.
Yeah. Is that, I mean,
Hmm.
whatever you have to upgrade old software, right? And it's expensive and it's huge and it's daunting, so you don't. And it just gets harder and harder the longer you wait, right? To transition it
Yeah,
into.
yeah, a lot of people, yeah, it becomes too expensive to migrate. So they try to like solve it by adding on different satellite newer softwares to do other things and slowly try to migrate, but it's a very difficult thing to do when you have a legacy, you know.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Do you have any big plans for 26, Alfonso?
I wanna try to be a speaker again at one
Ah,
or one or two conferences. I think that was really nice. That
okay.
was a
You said
cool
you were in
experience.
Dubai?
Yeah, it was Dubai. It was like luck out of the blue. Like someone invited me to go as and have a booth, but I say, hey, I like to speak.
Okay.
And then the guy came back to me like 2 weeks later. Okay, you want to be a speaker? There's a chance to be a speaker. And oh, that's cool. So I wanna try to do that again.
Okay.
There's a lot of interesting events happening this year. Uh, a couple of the big ones is the Web Summit in Rio and the
Ooh.
Amazon reInvent in Vegas, which is later this year.
Okay. Okay. Is that a big one in the field?
Yeah, the AWS reInvent is one of the big ones. There's others. The CES just happened in Vegas this month. Um, and yeah, there's a couple of other ones. The Gartner has one. Um, I mentioned Web Summit, which is a big one. There's a few.
What do you want to talk on or speak more on or educate or share that is, of interest to people at such events now, currently?
I want to keep talking about the AI thing, like how developers can leverage AI to improve
Okay.
the quality of their work and try to like dispel ideas that we're going to be replaced. That's not going to
Okay.
happen.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a hot topic for sure. Yeah, and
Right.
I think yeah, if you put together some good info on that, you could go on tour on podcasts beforehand and get that all dialed in really well.
Yeah, that would be nice. Starting with you.
All right. Yeah. Okay, Alfonso. Looking back at your career and Alio, what do you wish you knew sooner in your
Oh,
career?
that's a good question. Well, I wish I knew how AI would be boom. I did do, when I was in college, I was a researcher at the University of Arizona at the
Okay.
Artificial Intelligence Lab. And it's not the AI that we know today, but it was one of the beginning. We were doing a lot of web crawling
Okay.
and gathering data from different websites and categorizing them. So I think, the categorization part is where AI comes in. So we're doing some of that stuff, but I think no one knew how big it would grow, or very
What
few
would you,
people. Hmm.
knowing how it works now and what would you have done differently 10 years ago, knowing that this was coming? How would you set up to capitalize on it best?
I would have moved to San Francisco. The networking, because of the networking, right? We were talking about it before we started
Mhm.
recording, that how important networking is in
Okay.
the business space. I think it would have been nice to meet one of the key people or some of the people involved back then before it exploded.
Okay. So just well, why would if you already knew what was going to happen, why would having that network be advantageous?
Well, I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen, right? So
But if
being
you did,
there,
if you kind of
oh, if
knowing
I
what you
did,
know where AI was going 10 years ago, how would you have changed or capitalized, focused
I would have,
your
I would
business?
have found a way to participate in building it or having my version of it, like just um, collaborating and collaborating and being part of it would be really cool. Would have
Okay.
been cool. Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And knowing where it is now, do you see kind of where it's headed?
It's hard to say, really, like 'cause it's hard to say, like with the blockchain stuff. Um, I think there's definitely going to be an intersection between blockchain and AI. I think blockchain and AI are like the two brothers that have never met, and then they meet each other, and oh, what? You can do this, yeah, and you can do that. Oh, let's get together and let's build this amazing
Huh.
system, right? So I think
Okay.
there's going to be an intersection between blockchain and AI. Blockchain has a lot of challenges related to scalability. We mentioned
Okay.
that, and I think AI can help solve those problems that they're having.
Okay.
Mhm.
My background is in physics originally, and I'm hoping that AI can make some real headway in that space as well. I mean, for towards
Yeah.
the energy crisis and other stuff. We've never had a grand unified theory, right? We've never been able to get everything to click. So there's a lot of that. We're just math impaired, right? We haven't been able to get to that point. But if
Mhm.
right, you can get general AI or can make some advances in that space, that could be really really big. We could harness the power of the weak force and start cold fusion or something, right? Could be huge.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's the collective intelligence, right? Like it's really good at gathering everyone's ideas on
Right,
everything that's been published about something and then merging it into one thing and
right.
helping you come up with something greater.
Something new,
Hmm.
quicker too. That's something that one of my artist friends was showing me with music like a year ago. How AI was good with music. You could
Hmm.
you could use ChatGPT to say, "Hey, write me a song about this and this style," and you could text and copy and paste the lyrics into I don't remember what it was called, but it was some
Yeah,
software, and you could say you could pick the genres and you could merge the genres, right? You could say make it a female singer or a male singer, make it with this tempo, make it with in the style of Ukrainian folk music
yeah.
and speed metal. You
You're providing, that's the
know,
context, right? We talked about context. You're providing it the
yeah.
context of the kind of music that you want to
And it
create.
was things you'd never be able to put together. You wouldn't think to put together, but also it can do it so dang quickly, right? And you
Yeah.
can try so many things so fast, and that you wouldn't have maybe thought of. And anyway, and it was really
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, excuse
Oh,
me.
yeah, that's really cool. It just makes you wonder though, like, is that the future for us? We're just gonna listen to this AI music and then what's gonna happen?
Well, we're already seeing that like with visuals, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't even trust anything I see online anymore. I
Right.
showed my wife that this morning. I'm like, oh, do you want here, stay still. I took a picture of her and I said, okay, now I'll submit this. And 30 seconds later, I have her surfing a wave,
Ah,
video,
yeah.
and it
That's
looks like her. So I was like, yeah, you can't trust anything anymore. But
yeah,
it's that quick and that good and that easy. It's advancing so
yeah.
quickly.
Well, I think it's musicians and developers are similar because it's gonna be like, okay, a musician, he can play the guitar, but he wants to add a piano, he wants to add the drums, so he could probably just collaborate with AI and make music, right?
Sure, sure, sure. But I'm finding AI generated stuff less appealing and interesting
Yeah.
right? 'Cause if they're saturating the market with it like that so fast.
Yeah, that's true. You need that human. You notice it's noticeable, right? The
If I
lack
know
of
it's fake,
human.
even if it looks real, if I
Yeah.
know it's fake, well, then what good is it? It's kind of weird,
Right.
isn't it,
It's
that
it's
way?
soulless, right? It's lacking soul.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay, Alfonso, if people would like to connect with you or learn more about Alio IT, where can they go? What should they do?
Yeah, we're on X. Let me recall what we're on X. I just posted on X. Uh, Give me 1 second. Maybe you have to edit this a bit while I look for it. So we're on X, Alio_IT, and we're also on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And on LinkedIn, you can find us as Alio IT Solutions, which is 1 second.
All right.
Well, I can provide them after.
We'll try to tag you on our LinkedIn post too.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds good.
That'll be easier.
Okay. Well, this has been great. Thank you everybody for listening and watching. Thank you very much, Alfonso Bonillas, for joining me today and sharing your insights into AI in Arizona.
Thank you, Tim. It was nice being here.
Inspired by our guests? Visit phoenixprosperitypodcast.com/guest and join us on the show and share your success story with Tim. The spotlight awaits.